And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back after a couple of days of hiatus to another CranKy Duckling broadcast to the Universe Titan Cup Showmatch number 10, featuring two lovely, amazing players. A massive shout out to Universe. He is, of course, a Korean Terran player who has been funding and organizing some of these show matches and even other events as well, semi-regularly. You know, every month or so we have been seeing some more and more of these show matches pop up, and it's great to be a part of this. It's great to be able to broadcast this and bring this to you live here just before DreamHack Young Shipping, just before ESL Masters Summer. That is right around the corner in less than 24 hours. I believe in 20 hours, we have the open bracket, and of course we're going to be live casting that as well. But before we get into any ESL Masters Summer shenanigans, we're here with this best of 7 show match. No vetoes. No vetoes allowed. All maps may be played depending on how the series goes. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have our Terran challenger. We have the teamless Korean Terran. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the best player in all of Taiwan, representing Team Starlight Twinkle. It is Nice. Noise. And here we go. So we have been able to cast a couple of these show matches, not too many of them. I think we casted Dolan versus Mondo at the start of the year, and then a couple of months ago we casted Special versus Nightmare as well. So yeah, we've had a lot of really fun matches going on, and honestly some really high quality matchups as well. Like, I think they're really close. Obviously these aren't the most highest of profile players, but I do think they're pretty similar in skill, and I am very excited to show them both off here for you today. Bearing in mind as well that something to consider is that one of these players is not at home. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. One of these players is not at home. Nice, of course, here in the top left, is actually not in Taiwan. Oh, one probe is already going to be going down here to the first Reaper. Ay. So not the best start, as Percival did opt for a Rax Expand setup here. So a little bit more of an economic opener. He didn't skip his Reaper scout at least, and he's already looking to get some damage done. There's kind of a lot to get into. Back at home, he's of course throwing down his Rax. His factory's on the way. Nice is opting to go for a Twilight Council opener. This was scouted and confirmed by Percival. Looking at his vision, he's fully aware of what Nice is up to. But quickly diving into this as Percival keeps his Reaper alive, is the fact that Nice is in Sweden right now. For those who maybe aren't aware, Nice is one of the replacements for Oliveira and Coffee as well. For those who don't know, Oliveira and Coffee, they cannot be a part of DreamHack Young Shipping. They qualified through ESL Masters Asia, as they are the top 2 players from that region, but alas, they couldn't make it to DreamHack in the end. They have been replaced by 2 other players, by Kelazur and by Nice. Fun fact, to actually claim that qualifying spot, or that invite into the upper echelons of the tournament, Nice had to play a show match against, or had to play a qualifying match against Haas, I believe a day or 2 ago, to actually make it in. And he did defeat Haas, and he is of course now a part of that playoff bracket in DreamHack Young Shipping, and he's there in Sweden as we speak. Let's go. From my understanding, he isn't at the venue, so he isn't playing from the event itself, not right now, but regardless, we do see both the Hellion and the Reaper are going to be going down. The Adept does make it into the main base, does scout everything, so an unfortunate miscontrol there from Percival, or a lapse of attention. He wasn't able to deny the scout. The Adept does go down, but before killing 2 SCVs, as well as confirming everything that's going on, the 2-on-1 setup here from Percival. Meanwhile, Medevac drop is zooming across the map, and I doubt this is going to find too much damage. The Stalkers are in position. This was already scattered. It looks like a couple of mine shots are going to be going off, but no, the blink does deny one of them. Oh, the retarget. Up, the retargeting. Fun fact, this shot will not go off as it just continues to retarget Stalker after Stalker after Stalker. Oh my god, he keeps going, Pop, he keeps going. And because this mine is still active, we can't go back to mining. He is denying so much mining time right now, but here we go. Finally, the detection has arrived, but that took so long to clean up. Oh my god, that was beautiful. Something that's known here by Percival. He may be one of the lesser known players. You know, he streams a lot, but he's not on a team. He's still an up and coming player in the Korean scene, but he has such good control, such good micro, as we just saw. But is it good enough? Because this is, of course, a 4-gate Blink Stalker opener. Very aggressive. We're blinking into the main base. A couple of Marines are going to be going down. The tank is exposed. The boys are being pulled, but they will not keep the tank alive as the tank falls. Marines are falling. Sorry, workers are falling one after the other. The auto turret does whatever it can, but this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of control. More SCVs are falling, and that stim is looking very exposed. It looks like we do have enough to force the Stalkers out of the main base, but 12 SCVs did go down. Another tank does pop out. It does reposition in time, and despite how exposed this stim is, it looks like it should be able to finish. I mean, we're still a ways off, and Nice wants to blink again. He's going for it, Poppy. He's going for it. Well, he does blink up into the main base. He targets down the researching tech lab, and he will delay stim. Or he will deny stim. Couple Stalkers will go down in the process, but Nice is going to be looking for another avenue of attack. We only have one tank, as the first tank died earlier, which means that the natural base is exposed, and Nice is fully aware of that. He blinks forward once again. Then we pull the boys, but the repair may be a little bit too slow. We're going for the tank. We will get the tank, but we're losing. We're bleeding out a lot of Stalkers here. 2 more Stalkers do go down. And after all said and done, looking at the units lost tab here, 12 Stalkers have gone down throughout this game for 2 tanks and 18 SCVs. The SCV kills here is kind of the big thing. Not just that, but we're resetting the tank count. We also did delay stim by quite a bit. Now we're around halfway done, and without stim, we're looking for another way in. The observer does tell Nice that there is still no backup tank. Bunker goes down. The tank will finally arrive and finally shoo Nice away. As all this has been going on, we have been able to reprobe, or we have been able to at least saturate our 2 bases, and we are setting up for a third. As we blink forward, once again, another tank is going to be going down, and you know what? Why take a third when we can just keep warping in Stalkers and just keep the pressure up and snowball from here? We still don't have stim to work with. Nice still microing his heart out, and he's just been getting so much value over time. There's that third base that we were talking about, and we go for the warp in as well. Nice, finally having some room, some time here to actually macro back at home. We blink on forward. The final tank goes down. Again, this observer telling Nice that there was no second tank on the high ground, how safe it was to go for that pickoff. And this may just be too much damage. We finally have another tank. But another 14 SCVs went down. Not like this, Bappy, not like this. And as we're trying to muster up a force here to shoo away these Stalkers, we're losing gas, guys. The base itself is under threat. Stim finally does finish, but there are barely any Marines and Marauders to actually take advantage of that stim. This is just, yeah, getting far too out of hand. We're going for the repair. We're trying to keep this base alive. A second tank does show up, but we blink on forward. We focus down the siege tank and the other afterwards. And despite the fancy micro that we had earlier, despite the pretty good start to the game, to be honest here for Percival, he just wasn't able to defend in time, or wasn't able to set up back at his main base in time. And Nice just counterattacking so well, executing this 4-gate Blink Stalker so well as well, just recognizing the weak points here in the defense of Percival, picking him apart as Percival is microing his heart out. But GG gets called. And Nice will take game number 1 in this best of 7 show match. Oh. GG. And that was a pretty intense game 1, not gonna lie, but that was merely game 1. We have plenty more games ahead of us. Plenty more on the horizon. For those who may not be aware, best of 7 does mean that the first player to 4 wins takes the series. Oh boy. That's still a lot of games, Poppy. A lot of games. If you're interested in the map order, Game 1 was Dragon Scales. Game 2 will be on Altitude. Game 3, Babylon. Game 4, Neo-Humanity, followed by Gresvan, Royal Blood, and Ancient Cistern at the very end as well, if we do make it that far. Whew. But, yeah, We'll see if we do. I mean, again, I do think that if Percival can get into maybe a little bit of a longer game, which he will be able to on a map like Altitude, yeah, we'll see if he can get into the swing of things, get into the mid game, get a stable 2-base economy up and running. As Nice was just so aggressive and so in Percival's face, just denying him from doing so. I'm catching up with the chat. All right, it happened at the start of the game, but a massive shout out to C Grail in the chat for the 100 bits. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Map should pick players. Oh, it's like we're picking ones, Papi. Let's go, let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude, we have the South Korean Terran player. Starting off down in this series, but not out, not by a long shot, we have Percival. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the player currently leading this series, a Taiwanese Protoss representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Nice. Let's go. Oh, wait. Fun fact, so every odd map was picked by Percival and every even map was picked by Nice, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a Nice map pick, and oh no, he's looking, he's scouting, and he will come across the proxy racks. Only a singular proxy racks, bear that in mind, but Nice does have eyes on this. It was a double gas opener behind this as well. I think this was going to be a proxy 111. Oh boy. Oh no, we're committing. Oh, let's see how good the RNG is. We do have the SCV trying to micro against these workers, but the SCV will go down. We have 2 more on the way, but Altitude is the largest map in the map pool. It takes so long to get across the map, and Nice is here to stop him. Oh boy, he does confirm the other 2 SCVs as well. Because we have 2 SCVs, I think this Rax will finish, but we have 3 probes. Actually, maybe it won't finish. Oh, as the second SCV goes down, and no, the third one is tucked away quite nicely here, but the Rax will complete at least. Oh boy, but it took a lot. It took a lot to actually get this to finish. Back at home, we've got our factory already on the way. The initial Reaper is in production, but it was delayed so heavily here, and we already have an Adept being chronoed out as we speak. Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay, never mind. So, as EasyFeel is saying, apparently Haas is going to be taking Oliveira's spot. Not Nice. My apologies. I thought it was Nice in the end. Wait, did I misread? Oh, yeah, my apologies. Yeah, you're correct. I misread it. So, it was Nice did have a show match against Haas, and I guess a qualifying match against Haas, and Haas actually defeated Nice to claim that qualifying spot. So, sorry, it was Haas and not Nice to take it. I also believe the replays for that series will be made available soon, TM, and maybe we can cast it. Maybe. As we do have the initial Reaper coming out, but we already have a shield battery set up here in the main base. The first Adept and Stalker are going to be moving out as well, and I love it. We brought probes here to soak the mine shot. So smart. One mine shot does get off. Second mine, will be going off as well. Oh, with the unburrow. Probe will go down. But yeah, thanks for letting us know. Of course, Nice will be in Sweden, but alas, will not be in that playoff bracket. Is going to be by Haas. Oh, and the oh my god, we almost had the juke, but not quite in the end. The mines do rearm, and with that, we should be able to defend here, despite this pylon. We do have some high ground vision, and we are no. We commit to the shade. The Adept will go down, but we have a couple more Stalkers showing up. Just going to be containing Percival here to 1 base for as long as they can. But this could have been a lot worse. This definitely could have snowballed out of control. Phew. Thankfully, Percival was able to hold on. We do have quite a number of mines available. We have a medevac on the way as well, so we're going to be committing into a mine drop. No armory though, so 4 mines, they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot to do, Papi. That's casting tomorrow? Yes, we are going to be casting tomorrow. Meanwhile, we do see Nice fully aware of the potential of the drop, and he does have his stalkers beautifully spread out around his bases, patrolling, looking for said medevac. Oh, and it looks like it has been found out. We'll boost past the first wave of stalkers straight into the main base. I love this. One of these mines is going to be covering the ramp. The other 3 do dive into the main. Ooh, mine shot does go off. Oh my god! 5 probes will go down, and we have 1 mine shot left. Can take down a stalker. Go for a probe instead. 7 probes for 2 mines. Not too bad here from Percival, especially considering that he still has 2 widow mines left. But that medevac is stuck, is trapped, and he's going to be going out already, but has to be very careful, has to respect these stalkers. As Blink is already done. We did once again go into 4-gate Blink Stalker, so Nice is going to be moving out across the map. He has the Prism. We're looking for a repeat of game 1. Nice wants to snowball once again. What do we have at home to defend? We have 1 tank, sorry, 2 tanks. Scratch that. 1 tank covering the natural, the other tank covering the main. I love the Sim City as well, set up here by Percival, protecting said tank from any incoming stalkers. But Stim is still exposed. That's the downside to this, as Nice is going to be looking to blink into the main base, and yeah, he does go straight for that Stim. From there, he's looking to maybe even blink onto the other side. He is within range. The tank will still go down. Ooh. Already a great amount of damage done here by Nice. Oh, meanwhile, across the map, meanwhile, across the map, a lot of workers are going down. Unfortunately, there's no cloak on this Banshee, but 11 probes do fall. And Nice, his worker count is in shambles, actually. He's down to 18 probes. He's all in. He's done a great amount of damage, as we said, but he needs to do even more here, as he's down to only 19 probes. Oof. I mean, he already sustained a lot of damage earlier because of those Widow Mines, but thanks to that Banshee, even more so, and Percival is just getting that much more fortified. There we go. We do bait out the mine shot beautifully with that initial stalker. We take down the tank, but now the boys are being pulled, and Percival, he can afford to lose SCVs. Reality is that he does not need them. 7, 8 SCVs do go down, but again, this is still acceptable damage. Mine does get targeted. We do have high ground vision and detection because of that observer. Nice is still just controlling this so well. And I know that I say that we can afford to lose SCVs, but we've lost 18 already. Like, we're kind of evening things up a little bit. We're almost there. The Blinks so on point, but these Stalkers are running out of health. They're running out of shields. Oh my god. As they barely do survive. There we go. Stalkers are finally going down. 1 Stalker does fall. But the trades are still so good. We've lost Marines. Every single Marine has fallen. Only 4 Marauders hold on. They take down another Stalker. Oh god, can they get a third? The drop micro. Bappy. There we go. 3rd, 4th Stalker goes down, but we blink on forward on top of everything. The medevac goes down, and I can't believe it. Nice is doing it. He's breaking through. Oh my god, he's getting on top of the production as well. Percival doing the best he can to just keep everything alive, but the last Marauder goes down. There we go. We have 1 more coming out of the production. The boys are being pulled. Oh my god, there is 1 Widowmine waiting on top of this ramp, but it is spotted by the Observer. He sees, Poppy, he sees. Observer does leapfrog forward. Oh my god, I can't believe Nice has done so much here with these Stalkers. He's actually been able to just control his way through this, to just micro his way through. Stim is now done. We have 11 Stalkers here to 4 Marines and 3 Marauders. Then once again we blink on forward. GG gets called. Percival, he had like, I think it was 42 SCVs to 18 workers of Nice, and somehow, oh my god. Percival, with sheer micro, with sheer Blink Stalker control, he's able to break through and break Percival. Oh my god. I can't believe it. And I do kind of agree here. A comment was made in the chat about a bunker, and we had a bunker in game 1. Percival did skip it here in game 2, and I mean, it's possible that even with a bunker, Nice still would have broken him. It's very possible that that would have happened, but it would have helped nonetheless. And I can't believe that Nice was able to pull that off. Oh my god, GG, Papi. As we saw, Nice only made, Percival only did make one tank. If you recall, that was that one tank that was covering the main base. From there, he was going into mine production, and we saw that, mate, I'm talking about the MVP being the Blink Stalkers, and definitely the control of those Blink Stalkers were insane. At the same time, the Observer, the fact that the Observer provided so much value by picking off, what, 5 Widow mines, I want to say? 5, maybe even 6 mines? It was insane. It was absolutely insane how many mines got sniped, how meticulous Nice was with dealing with them, making sure that he never took a mine to the face. I don't think a single mine shot ever went off offensively in that entire assault. He was doing such a great job at picking them off, and yeah, we clearly saw that they, unfortunately, because of that Observer, they just really weren't worth it. If there was a moment where Percival was able to scan and snipe that Observer, then I'm sure things would have been different, but alas, the detection that Nice had just worked so well for him. He was able to just break on through, and yeah, GG. Here we go. We are going to be continuing our best of 7 here. Oh boy, and it's been a rough start. Not gonna lie, it's been a rough start for our player in the bottom right hand corner on Babylon, the South Korean Terran. He is teamless down in this series, but we still got plenty of games, hopefully. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Nice. I did see someone ask earlier as well, I think Grumpy a little bit. What are these scene transitions? They look awesome and smooth. Thank you so much. Was not made by us. We did commission a Latin American artist that's a big fan of StarCraft. He works a lot with Jim Rising and with the other StarCraft casters like Demon Swap and Horus and La Espida, as well as, I imagine, D6 and the others. He's a Chilean graphics designer, and we did commission it from him. He was a big fan, or he is a big fan of the CranKy Ducklings as well. He actually didn't just make the scene transition. He made a bunch of assets that we use for like tournament announcements on social media and Discord and all this other stuff. Like he's done a lot for us. So massive shout out to Trantor. His name is Trantor Labs. I believe he has an Instagram and social media and a website. So definitely do recommend. He's a great guy, very passionate indeed. As we do have Nice going for a proxy gates in, oh my god, he's proxy 2 gating Percival in his own main base as Percival is going for a proxy racks. Oh my god, second pylon is thrown down. We do have Percival responding with his own raxes. His Reaper is rallied back at home, which means he won't be able to be aggressive with it across the map, and these gateways are going to finish. Oh boy. Second pylon's done. Shield batteries are on the way. 2 shield batteries at that. We have a bunker being thrown down here for his Reapers. Oh god, there isn't going to be warp gate, bear that in mind. So we do have to manually wait for these units to come out one after the other. More shield batteries are on the way, but they are going to be denied one after the other. And because we have to wait for this Adept, I don't think this is going to snowball out of control. We'll see. One shield battery does kind of finish the pylon, does get focused out by the Reaper. As one Adept and a Zealot here are looking to lay havoc here upon the mineral line. And this is going to be buying time for 2 more Adepts. The first Zealot does get surrounded. Meanwhile, the Adept does get focused down by the Reaper. It will fall. I mean, we are getting some economic damage, don't get me wrong, and I mean, we can't deal with the production, bear that in mind. So these Adepts are coming out one after the other. The Hellion, up! One of us! One more shot! Oh, it is going to go down. The repair was not there in time. We do get a nice surround, though, and the Adepts will be cleaned up. Well, meanwhile, the Adept is stuck. No! The Adept came out and it's stuck here against the depot. It does go down. Remember, though, that 2 Adepts do one-shot SCVs, and I think that's the goal here for Nice, is that he just wants to deal some economic damage. Just going to be waiting for more Adepts. There we go. 3 Adepts have now joined forces. We only have 4 Reapers to deal with this, but I do think that that should be enough here to keep up with the Adepts as they're looking to shade past the army into the mineral line. Oh my god, but a little bit of miscontrol here. One of them does get surrounded immediately. The others are focusing down the Reapers. Oh, sorry, 3 shot, not 2 shot. Ugh. As now there are only 3 Reapers remaining. We're focusing on add-ons right now, so 3 Reapers, that's all we have. Oh, the control of the micro, though. Behind this, Nice is expanding, is transitioning out of this. We do have 1 Reaper across the map. There's a shield battery here keeping everything alive. And yeah, I feel like Percival, he's weathered the storm. He's gone through the worst of it. He has lost a lot of workers, unfortunately, and this one Adept is going to be able to pick up a couple more. Things are going to be settling down. Finally. Finally, things will calm down. Whew. The gateways will be depowered. And after all said and done, we need to take stock of what's been going on, because this has been nonsense. All right, 10 SCVs have fallen here for 10 Adepts. I want to say that's a better trade for Percival, especially considering that now he has a pretty decent army. He's got the Cyclone, he's got a couple units to protect said Cyclone. We're moving across the map. We only have 1 gateway back at home. Nice doesn't have a lot of production available right now. He's gonna have 2 shield batteries, but no overcharge. The Cyclone does get the lock on, but the Adept is looking to work through these Cyclones. Will barely survive, and yeah, the Cyclone is putting in a lot of work. Couple more Marine Shop as well, but they are going to get targeted down. With that, Percival will back off. And we may just end up in a bit of a longer game here. Nice has successfully defended his natural base. Meanwhile, Percival is forced to throw down his own CC as well. After a chaotic start, we're okay, Papi, we're okay. I see Draconics in the chat. Ay, ay, ay. I'm loving the chat's reaction to all of this. Let's go. Meanwhile, we do see Percival trying to shoot this all away. We actually still only have a single gateway powered here for Nice back at home. We don't really have a lot of production, so I'm actually really surprised at how aggressive Nice is being here. Trying to out-control Percival and gain value with what little he has. Bearing in mind there is no blink. We're going straight for a Dark Shrine, mate. What's going on? DTs are going to be on the way. Behind this, Percival is going for Cloak Banshees. Mate. Neither one of these players has any chill. Oh my god. Things are getting personal, Papi. There's that gateway explosion. So 3 gates are on the way. We already had 1 done. So 4 gates in total. 4 Nice. Prism slips into the main. And we do scout that cloak. We do see that Tech Lab researching. Nice is fully aware of what's going on. And this time, he will be prepared for those Banshees. There we go. Shield battery on the way in the mineral line. We already had one here in the main. Percival is going to be moving out here with 2 tanks and the rest of his army. Looking to maybe even catch that Prism. Does catch a couple of units. The Prism does stay across the map. Actually turns back around to try to save these Stalkers. One Stalker will fall. The Prism has to get the hell out of here. Oh, God, the look on. Doesn't quite land. But Nice is just bleeding out far too many units. Immortal will go down with the death of the Immortal. What do we have left at home? We have 2 Stalkers, 2 shield batteries, and an Overcharge. And I know Overcharge is good. Don't get me wrong. Overcharge is amazing. We do have a DT as well, but we have a scan for said DT. Percival is going to be able to power through this natural base. There's not really much left to defend. We have 1 Stalker and an Immortal. And that is nothing in the face of these 3 tanks. Decent amount of friendly fire, so Percival will lose some units. There is a DT across now. 2 DTs even. And we're getting on top of the we're getting on top of the production as well. Oh my God, we're going for the warp in. We're not going to have enough units built up back at home to clean up these DTs. We have a Raven, but even the Raven's being targeted down. And Nice is committed to the base trade. We're doing this. We are doing this. A tank is going to pop out. We do have a scan. And we use the scan across the map. I think there was probably a defensive DT. Oh, God. But that means that so much is going down. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe we should be able to kill all these buildings. We want the Raven, though. We want the Raven! Oh, if we can get the Raven, then we have to rely on energy from those CCs to deal with the DTs. Bearing in mind, the CCs are currently in the air. If Nice snipes that Raven, everything can change, but it's going to be so difficult to pull that off. We have the Overcharge, but we only have 1 Stalker left. Yeah, and I feel like Percival should still have this. GG gets called. Percival fights back and takes game number 3, taking his first game. Let's go. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. We have a series. It's been a very chaotic series. It's been a very aggressive series, but a series nonetheless. And thankfully, we won't have a clean sweep. Thankfully, we don't have a 4-0. Let's go. I do think that was like a weird win condition there for Nice. Especially if he was able to get that Raven and somehow hunt down those CCs, but alas, wasn't able to in the end. Percival was able to get that Raven to safety with the main army, and we're going to continue on in this series. Game number 4 is going to be taking place on Neo Humanity. Let's go. Let's go, Papa. Oh, God. And now the question is, what kind of cheese are we going to see here in game number 4? I say cheese. To be fair, Nice has been playing pretty standard in the first 2 games. In the first 2 games, he just went for a 4-gate Blink Stalker opener, which obviously escalated out of control, but game 3 was wild. And here we go. Diving into game number 4 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the South Korean Terran player. Fighting back in that last game, putting a point on the board. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Nice. Let's go. The gateways at home, important to bear in mind. To take note of. Meanwhile, I love that Percival, he's playing with the series a little bit. In the last 2 games, he has gone for a proxy Rax. So here he goes for a fake proxy Rax. It's going to be at his 3rd base location. So if there was a probe scout, Nice would be a little bit paranoid about a committed proxy when Percival really has it on his side of the map. So it looks like we're going to be calming down a little bit here in game 4. Let's go. Oh. Anyway, I need to calm down. I need to calm down after that one, Poppy. What does the VIP and live VIP stand for? I think the last time that was us in the chat, I think it was a couple of days ago, I think Emperor Fuble said very important Papi, which I appreciated. I appreciated that one. Let's go. Oh. But we're getting into the swing of things here. We are going for a 2-gas opener here from Percival. I can actually talk about the openers. Let's go. It is going to be a double gas opener, so still very aggressive here from Percival, bearing in mind as well that Percival opted not to go for an SCV scout. He also did go for a Reaper at least, so the Reaper will be providing him some information as to the initial tech of Nice. Every game so far we have had a Twilight Council opener of some kind, except for the last game, but we didn't. Look, we can ignore game 3. It's okay. We don't need to talk about it, Bob. We don't need to talk about it. But here he's going to be mixing things up, and as the Reaper dives into the main, we do throw down the Stargate. Adept is going to try to keep up with a nice grenade on said Adept, and the Reaper will get a full scout in the main. It does confirm the Stargate opener of Nice. Ooh. And oh my god! We're clowning, Poppy. We're clowning. As the Reaper leaves the main base, Nice cancels the Stargate and goes for a Twilight Council. Now this is going to be a delayed blink if that's what we get, but we could play with the Terran a little bit. And are we going to go for a DT opener? That would be wild. That would actually be insane. As the Reaper is going in for a follow-up scout, is going to be attempted to be denied by that Stalker, but oh, he does the double take as well. He confirms the Robo and the Twilight Council. I'm sure the last thing that Percival expected was a cancelled Stargate. I'm sure he was coming in just to see if it was a Phoenix or an Oracle, but alas, he does confirm the tech switch and does confirm the Twilight Council at least. Let's go, Poppy, let's go. Behind this, we are going for a delayed CC, of course, because of the double gas opener. We are getting it nonetheless. It is now being landed on location, and Percival is setting up for a mine drop. Speaking of mines, Nice is aware. He did send, I believe it was an Adept across the map, which did die to the first mine set on top of the ramp. And with that, he should be aware that a drop is definitely potentially on the way. And there are a couple of units back at home. I say a couple, there is one Stalker here at the natural. So I don't really have too much else to work with. Gonna have to be heavily reliant here on the reaction time of Nice. Probe does see the medevac coming ahead of time. The Stalker does react. Nice is fully aware of the mine drop. And should be able to pull the boys in time as well. Mines will burrow. And we shouldn't get too much damage. One probe will fall, and it looks like a second probe will fall as well. Percival does at least keep one of those Widow Mines alive here in the top left, and we'll be able to get away here in the dead space and could threaten potentially another mine in the future. Meanwhile, back at home, we're just kind of setting up here on 2 bases, getting our Raxes up and running. We are going for a Raven opener as well. With this, it does provide a lot of utility. It keeps you safe against something like DTs. It can also give you those disables as well for a later on push or later on timing, especially if we have some high-tech units like Immortals or Colossi. I was going to say Robo-base units. And we're getting into this. Let's go, buddy. Let's go. Now, despite the fact that we had a Blink Stalker opener, it was only on 3 gates. With that, we're going for a 3rd base instead. We're not going to be too aggressive here. I don't believe we even have a Prism. No, we do not. We made an Immortal instead to be safe and more defensive. So Nice is going for a much more economic build here. Isn't going to be anywhere near as aggressive as he has been in the entirety of this series so far. Very tech heavy though. We're going for charge as well as +1, as well as a robotics bay as well to get into those Colossi or disruptors. If Nice wants to be cheeky, he can rush into that disruptor tech instead. It's a little bit risky, but high risk, high reward. I'm sure Nice is maybe feeling that right now. I'm sure he's willing to take that risk. Oh, meanwhile, it looks like Percival attempted to go across the map for some auto turret harass, but he was found out by that Stalker. Thankfully, the Raven does survive. It does make it back home in the end. And for the time being, we do have a 3-rack setup here. If we throw down additional raxes, we could be looking for a 2-base all-in, and we could even pull the boys. Otherwise, we could see a bit of a later 3rd CC being thrown down. We are just working up our mine count right now. Interesting that Percival isn't going for a tank-heavy composition. He's only got 2 tanks and then has switched into mine production. Meanwhile, after the Raven gets repaired, we're just zooming across the map immediately. This time we do make it. We do get into the natural base. We spot a little bit of a gateway explosion, and the auto turret is going to be able to get a couple of probe kills, deny a lot of mining time at least as well. 2 probes and mining time. The Raven should be able to escape with its life as well, which will be pretty important. This Raven... Oh god, no! Okay. The Raven does provide so much utility here. Like, it can really make or break a fight, especially if we get disables on these Colossi. Speaking of, I don't believe Percival has been able to... Yeah, he hasn't been able to scout the follow-up. He doesn't really know exactly the army composition that Nice has right now. He hasn't spotted these Colossi as we are moving out across the map. No 3rd CC yet, but the boys are being kept back at home for the time being. Going to be hitting with Stim, Combat Shields, and +1. Concussive Shell as well, and there's that 3rd CC that we were talking about. It is on the way behind this push. And the Raven did survive. The Raven's going to be going for some... Oh, he's actually coming in from behind. He could go for the disable, but no, he goes for some auto turret harass instead. He's going to be able to focus down that cannon, but the Raven will go down. Meanwhile, we're looking to engage. We do have a beautiful minefield set up here, but this Colossi is putting in a lot of work. He's making it so difficult for Percival to push into the natural when there's a second Colossus waiting for him, and yeah, there's no way in. There's no way to break Nice. Nice has been able to split up his army. He have shield batteries at his 3rd base and his natural, and he's looking to surround this army. Ooh, friendly fire from some of those mines as well. Decent mine shots towards the end, but yeah, Percival just could not break his opponent, is being forced back. Again, I'm sure if he was aware of the Colossus count, he probably would have maybe decided to hold on to his Raven and use it more offensively to try to force some disables and try to break his opponent that way. Alas, that was a pretty committed push from Percival, and he lost a lot there. He lost both of his tanks, he lost his Raven, a good chunk of Widow Mines. But Percival, he's not done. As he takes his 3rd base, he is going for a massive drop into the main base. So he gets spotted! No! Nice sees it coming ahead of time. He goes for a bit of a warp in. He, doesn't go for the recall though. He's racing back home. He did not have enough energy for it. Uh-oh. And with that, a mine is going to be going off. A lot of the Zealots do fall. The Colossi should be able to push this back, but we're getting quite a lot of damage done here. A lot of probes are falling. And are we going to get out with the full medevacs? It looks like we will. As we get out with the full medevacs, we have the reinforcements laying siege upon this 3rd base. And this 3rd is under threat. Mine shots go off on the morphing in Zealots. And at the same time, we have a Zealot warping into the main base of Percival. The 3rd will go down. So Percival was able to pull apart Nice's army, but at the same time, he also sustained a lot of losses back at home. Percival, though, still far ahead here. 51 SCVs. We go for another warp in, but Percival can focus on the defense. Meanwhile, Nice is just rushing across the map with everything he has. Zealots from behind, the Colossi from the front. Can we stop the Colossus army? I don't know if we can. Nice may just have too much. Yeah, Percival knows that he just can't engage. He can't engage with the Colossi. And we're kind of going for a base trade. Oh, but we go for the recall. We have the power of the recall. And there are still Zealots wreaking havoc in the main base of Percival. Aye. Nice defense back at home, and he still hasn't been cleaned up. The Prism still active here at the 3rd base. I mean, the Doom Drop, it works so well for Percival. He was doing such a great job at harassing and sniping bases. Unfortunately, he just didn't have either the attention or just enough reinforcements back at home to clean up. to deal with that Prism. And alas, Percival is being overwhelmed. His units are also coming back home, but at this point it's too late. The third base is forfeit, the natural as well. Percival is down to 11 SCVs. The Marauders, they try to come in from behind. But we can't really touch these Colossi. Not with this Prism, not with these Immortals. Boys being pulled once again. GG gets called, and Nice takes game number 4. Ooh, GG. In a much more back and forth game, to be fair. That Prism doing so well here for Nice. I thought he was being punished so hard for not having the energy to recall and just having a really hard time bouncing between his bases and keeping up with the drop play of his opponent. But alas, because Percival was rallying across the map, which is how he was able to break the third base in the first place, it meant that he didn't really have a lot at home to defend, and it meant that that Prism did get out of control, did get out of hand, and with that, Nice takes game 4. It is 1 game away from taking this entire series, which would be unfortunate. Like, it's been a pretty short series so far. We've of course had 4 games, but a lot of these games have been really quick. They've been really quick, they've been really fast. It would be a shame if the series would end here and now, but it's not up to me, it's up to the players. We'll see how this does unfold. Hopefully we get a couple more games. Hopefully we get a more fulfilling series, but we'll see. We'll see. I see Frost in the chat. Wears no pants. I love Frost. I love how you Frankensteined that into existence. you tried really hard to make that work. I appreciate it. And here we go. It's spawning in, or we're getting into potentially the final game of this series. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressfarm, we have the South Korean Terran player. Currently teamless, currently down a 1-3 in this series. One more loss. That will be the end of the show match. He has to fight back here and now. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player. The best, or one of the best players in all of Taiwan. Representing Team Starlight Twinkle, it is Nice. Whew, let's go. Looks like no charge, maybe no Twilight. No, if you recall, it was a Stargate opener, and of course we did cancel said Stargate to get into the Twilight Council. There was charge. I do recall. Nice was having some fun canceling his initial tech and going into a Twilight Council from there. But yeah, that was a really interesting game to get into, of course. Oh boy, but what does Game 5 have in store for us? So far, Rex Expand setup here from Percival, only a single gas to get into our natural base, so much more economic here from our Terran player. Meanwhile, our eyes are on the Protoss. What does he have in store for us here, as he does go for a gate expand himself? And he's just going to be looking to be as annoying as possible with this probe. Throws out a pylon here on top of the ramp, does confirm the CC is not able to delay it, is going to attempt to, but thankfully we're able to pull an SCV and push that probe back. Oh boy. And with that, we can settle into our next game. The probe does bypass the initial Reaper. Beautifully done here by Nice. Dips back in, and this will either force the Reaper back or, yeah, going to be forcing a bit of a delay here on said CC. Oh boy, another worker has to be brought down alongside that Marine. Oh, can we get it? Oh, one of us. Oh, we just barely did not. Nice, he pulled back at the wrong moment, or at a rough moment there, and the SCV does survive, thankfully, for Percival. Meanwhile, as Reaper gets across the map, we do have a shield battery, does top up those workers, and we do throw down a Stargate. Now will Nice cancel it. This time, looks like he'll be committing instead. And I appreciate this. You know, for the first time this series, Nice is going to be going for a Stargate opener. You love to see it. Ugh. You know, across the map, because that pylon, we do at least have some high ground vision. We do have quite a bit of scouting information as well. We're able to see that starport, so we know about the 111. We know it's not a 3-Rex opener, despite not making it into the main. Meanwhile, the Adepts do show up, and they're just gonna dance here with these initial Marines. Look to deny any kind of mining time here at the natural, force Percival to rally his SCVs into his main, and Maynard a little bit later. And we are going to be going for an Oracle first. Reaper does dip back in and does confirm the initial unit, so Percival is fully aware of the Oracle that's going to be zooming across the map. As the Reaper does get hunted down with the death of that pylon, beautifully timed here by Nice as well. As the pylon goes down, the Adepts do make it in. They're going to be cleaned up, but they're going to be trading with these Marines, and they also, again, just get confirmation of the production of the add-ons. And Nice is going to be committing. There are some players that go for an Oracle opener just straight into a Twilight Council into Blink, but Nice is actually going to be committing into Stargate production. He's going to be commencing his initial Phoenixes. One Phoenix is already out, a second one is on the way. Oracle dips in, but remember, Percival was able to scout earlier, so he is already well prepared for this with his Marines. Has a Viking patrolling in his main base as well, so this Oracle is having a hard time finding damage. Thankfully, we only made one Oracle. We didn't like hyper invest and get a second Oracle. With this, Nice is just looking for scouting information and map control. So first Phoenix is also going to zoom in across the map as well. And especially based off of how this series has been going, he confirms, okay, there's no cloak being researched, this time there's no Banshee production, unlike what we've seen already. We are getting into that Raven. Oh. A little bit unfortunate as the Rax rallied south, but does go back. I think that was just meant to be a shift rally for the Marines themselves. But we do get the revelation once again, just confirming the army, confirming the tech. Back at home, Nice just going to be expanding from here, getting into his third base. And it is going to be a Twilight Council, so Nice isn't going to be rushing into Colossi tech. I know Terran players like to smudge, and hey, I can appreciate the smudge of Phoenix Colossi and how oppressive that army composition can be. But Nice is going for something very different instead, which is very curious to me. He's going Phoenix into Blink Stalkers, not even into Charge. Both the Blink Stalker and the Phoenix kind of provide the same role. They both provide map control. They do shut down any kind of drop play from the Terran player, and usually players go for one or the other, but we're actually going for both here. Yeah, very unique by Nice. Able to pick off 4 SCVs without losing too much. We were able to pick up said Cyclones, cancel the lock-on, get the hell out of there. Behind this, Nice just saturating his third base, containing his opponent. In a couple of seconds, the blink is done. We do have high ground vision, so Nice could potentially blink into the main base, but there's so much room position. We have a tank, we have Cyclones, Marines, Raven as well for an auto turret. We go for the scan, and Percival does confirm the third base. As Percival moves out, Blink is now done, so we can micro against this army, just picking off whatever we can, slowing down this push as best we can. This push is going to be hitting with Stim, Combat Shields at +1, so pretty committed here, pretty dedicated. This time, we did not waste any Raven energy on Auto Turret Harass. Instead, we've been saving it up here for those disables or even anti-armor missiles. Up! But we have been picking off a lot. A mine, 10 Marines. God, we have to be very careful with that Raven. As we push this army across the map, we have a shield battery. We don't have enough energy for an overcharge, so... Oh no, there we go. The overcharge is popped. Raven gets targeted down, not before the anti-armor missile. The tanks do shell away at the army. Oh my god. Tanks adding so much DPS to that. Every single Phoenix was focused down as well. They could not CC those tanks. Could not keep that CC on the tanks, I should say, as we do just barely deny Deny that charge. Stalkers blink on forward. The tanks will be going down, but what about the army? It's not going to be enough. GG, Percival. He's able to pull it off, take the next game, and the series isn't over. Percival takes game number 5, puts a second point on the board. Oh my god, it was so clutch that he was able to deny that charge. Likewise, the focus firing on those Phoenixes were clutch as well. If he wasn't able to pull that off, if the Phoenixes were able to keep those tanks in the air even a second longer, and potentially Percival would have lost his entire army there, wouldn't have been able to end it then and there and break on through. Oh, so GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're going to be getting into game number 6. Oh boy. Already at game 6. How long has it brought? We've only been here for an hour. Oh my god. Are we going to get some predictions in the chat? Are we going to get a longer game? Are we going to get into like 3-base play from both players? Will that ever happen this series? I don't think so. I'm not convinced, Papi. I'm not convinced. Just catching up with the chat. Catching up, Papi. Catching up. Here we go. We are loading in to Royal Blood. Vámonos, Papi. Vámonos. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the South Korean Terran player fighting back once again in that last game. Fighting back and putting 2 points on the board here. Can he force the ace match? Can he tie things up 3-3? Let's find out. We have the South Korean Terran. It is Percival. And it was a 1G moment. It was. I did. Spotting in the top right-hand corner. We have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss representing Starlight Twinkle. Still 1 game away from taking it all and winning this show match. It is nice. Now, is it a show match or is it a grudge match? I don't know. I mean, the way these two have been playing, it feels like it's a little bit personal. I don't know. They've been so aggressive towards each other, gameplay wise, I should say. Gameplay wise, it's been a lot of fun to watch. It's been a lot of fun. It's been very chaotic, and those are the best kinds of TvPs. I feel the best kind. Let's go. As Nice is a little bit paranoid and he's looking for proxy Raxes. Alas, he will find none because Percival is setting up back at home for a Rax expand. So an economic opener here by Percival, or yeah, should be for that soon to be CC. As this time he's going for an SCV scout as well. Interesting. If you recall last game, well, for a lot of this series actually, he's been relying on Reaper scouts or no scout at all. But this time, Percival just wants to make sure he's safe and sound, going for that scout across the map, as he does get his natural up and running. Yeah, Percival likewise just making sure that all the pylons are back at home, that the gateway's back at home as well, that there is no proxy. You love to see it. So pretty standard economic openers here from both players. As the first Reaper is going to be zooming across the map. In the chat, weird choice to go Phoenix Blink. I agree. That's why we kind of mentioned it as well. It's kind of weird. It's very... it's a little bit unorthodox. Like, it's not like pro players don't do it. They do it from time to time, but typically it's like Phoenix into either Colossi or Phoenix into Charge. We mentioned it earlier. It feels like Blink Stalkers kind of have the same role as Phoenixes, so it's kind of weird to double dip into them. It's a bit odd. And as you see, like, it can be abused as a result. Like, when it comes to these big tank pushes, Stalkers do a great job at slowing down the push, sure, but Charge is really what you need to clean up an army like that, and it's something that Nice was lacking in that last game. So he was still 11 seconds off from it. Meanwhile, the first Reaper dips into the main base and is yet to scout the tech. We do have that Stargate thrown down behind that natural, and it looks like Percival will get eyes on it. Meanwhile, the Adept gets across the map and is going to be able to, just barely not take out that Marine. Whew. As the Adept gets a full scout of the main base, unfortunately the Shade was not denied, and Nice is able to confirm the 1-1-1 follow-up. Likewise, Percival saw the Stargate. The Reaper did go down, so we weren't able to see the initial unit being built, and we can see we're going straight into a Twilight Council behind this. Oh boy, so no Phoenixes this time. Oh, and the Hellion is going to dive in and see all of this. Confirms the initial Oracle, but we saw the Phoenix nonetheless. Okay. We think better of it. That makes more sense. I'm like, are we really still gonna make some Phoenixes after throwing down the Twilight Council this quickly? But this is more of what we expect to see. If we do have a blink after a Stargate, it's usually just without Phoenixes. It's just a little bit more hidden, ideally more hidden. But Percival, he knows about the tech switch. He saw everything with that Hellion. Is now moving out, looking for that Oracle. Of course, the Oracle is back home, but Percival is looking to potentially hunt it down. Nice taking his third base behind this. And he's set up for a 4-gate blink. Heavily delayed 4-gate blink, but nonetheless, we do have it with a third base behind it as well, which is interesting, to say the least. Oh, as the Stalkers move out, the drop is coming in. Now, Nice will have high ground vision as oh, he takes a mine shot to the face. Blink is still not done. Does go for the revelation, does spot the additional Raxes. Meanwhile, the drop does show up across the map, is going to lay siege upon that third base, but doesn't look like we have quite the DPS to focus it down and force any kind of delay. Oh, the Marines do get cleaned up. I mean, at least we do confirm the third, but that was quite an expensive scout. Back at home, we're getting into a pretty standard 3-1-1 setup here on 2 bases for Percival. Once again, keeps that Raven back at home, so he won't be wasting any energy going for auto Tartaras. Instead, he's going to be keeping it for that push. Meanwhile, Stim up. Oh, is going to be denied. Oh, we're going to deny it again? No shot. He wants it. Oh, it is on fire. Oh my god, he wants to blink back in if possible. Thankfully, there is a tank. And we're going to be able to keep Stim alive. Not these SCVs, though. Unfortunately, that Starport is a little bit too close to the edge. But the tanks are now in position. Nice, going to be rotating over towards the natural. Baits out of mine. And it will force a salvage on that bunker. Yeah, Nice just looking to contain Percival here on these 2 bases. Behind this, we're working towards charge. We have our first Robo on the way. Nice isn't hyper committed with this. Obviously, with no Robo, there was no Prism or anything like that, so he's just being as active as possible. Behind this, we do have a third CC, so Percival isn't going to be going for a 2-base all-in. Oh god! Oh, that's so unfortunate. The Raven does get sniped with so much energy as well. There was so much potential with that. But the Raven goes down. And without it, that does take a lot out of the push here from Percival. He does kind of secure Nice's third base that much more. This Percival is still going to move out. Moves out with 3 tanks. 3 medevacs as well. Nice, doing a great job at just chipping away at this army. Ideally, he forces a siege up as well. Oh, gets a Marauder. Only losing shields. Yeah, as Nice just kites this all the way back home. Well, Percival is going to be able to lay siege upon that Cybercore, but charge is done. The Zealots have arrived, and Percival gets surrounded. The mine shot's not doing too well for themselves either. The tanks are going to be going down, and Nice gets completely cleaned up. Ay. It was a bold move to commit anyway without the Raven, and even if he did have the Raven here, like, an anti-armor missile wouldn't have helped him too much anyway. Oh, that's Nice. Maintains map control. Percival is attempting to take a third base, but there's just no way to pull that off. Oof. After losing that army, how can Percival ever expand? The answer is he can't. He just cannot. A lot of Zealots are being cleaned up though, to be fair. Without those Zealots, these Stalkers are going to have a hard time engaging with this Bio army. Percival, finally going to be able to take his third. Behind this, we have a fourth on the way, second Robo, and the Bay to get into double Colossus production, or double Disruptor production even. As the third is taken, we have a Prism going for a massive Zealot warping into the main base. The SCVs are getting caught in the transfer as well as they race back home. Boys are being pulled. Zealots in the main are being cleaned up, but we lose 12 SCVs. And the Prism is still alive. Does cancel the warping, but because of this Prism, Percival is stuck in his main. He can't move out. He's forced to just commit supply here in his main. There we go. Tarts are on the way. And we are going straight into Disruptor production. So bold move here by Nice, but like he has like such an advantage already. He has so much freedom right now that he can get away with Disruptors. As Nice is getting up towards that 71 worker count. Percival, he's looking for that Prism. Does slip into the main base of the mine. Oh, does not go off. Ooh, but thankfully, the turret does a lot of work, does take down that Warp Prism. That means we only have 4 Zealots to work with here in the main. At the same time, Nice is laying siege upon the third. We have the Disruptors. The Novas will zone away the army. Oh god! Ugh. Shave off a couple of SCVs. Zealots in the main do get cleaned up. And Nice is even taking the gold. Just getting further and further ahead. He's got 4 Disruptors now. And pushing up this ramp is not going to be the best idea. It's just not going to be possible. Not against 4 Disruptors. 2 Novas did go off. Now we only have 1 left. Up! A decent connection on those Marauders. That will deter Percival. He's going to try and rotate around here towards the right-hand side. Likewise, Nice does back off. Looking to meet up with that rotation. Yeah, and he is able to push us back. At the same time, he's going for a Zealot run by. It does run into reinforcements, so the Zealots won't be able to do too much. Or they shouldn't. Yeah, they shouldn't do too much. Meanwhile, the drop is being cleaned up as well. Only 2 medevacs full of units do make it out. A trade that Percival just couldn't afford. He scans, he sees the army, he bypasses it, he's going straight for the main. He's looking to force a recall. At the same time, Nice is collapsing on what little is left across the map. There's that recall that we were talking about, and is it going to be enough? There are a lot of Marauders in this army, but we have Zealots as well. Nice defends his main. He's able to keep on pushing across the map. We almost only have Disruptors remaining. Oh, the pickup micro. The 1 Marauder. Let's go. We take down one of those Disruptors. But the others will escape. And Percival is on his last legs. I appreciate that he did fight back in this series. You know, we almost had what looked to be something like a 4-0. But Percival did fight back in this series, but alas, here in Game 6, it just did not work out well for him at all. His push was completely shut down, and after that, Nice had so much momentum going his way. just never allowing Percival to actually saturate and get his third base up and running. GG gets called, and Nice will take the best of 7, 4-2. He'll win the show match. GG. GG, well played. He will be the victor of the Universe Titan Cup show match number 10, taking down Percival 4-2. Oh, in a pretty entertaining series, is how I'll put it. GG. We saw a lot of aggression, we saw a lot of cheese, we saw some nonsense where Nice was going for a proxy 2-8 in the main base of Percival, as Percival was going for a proxy racks across the map. Game 3 was crazy. Game 3 was like the highlight of the night, I feel, or one of the highlights, to be fair. There were some other really great moments as well. So things got rowdy, things got wild, and in the end, Nice did come out on top here. But again, GG nonetheless here to Percival. He was able to make a show of it and able to put on a good performance, I would hope, and a good stream for the people in the chat as well. Percival, he's such a great player, and I don't know if that was really showcased here in this series. There were a lot of really cool, like, micro moments. I'm brought back to say the retargeting of that Widow Mine in, I think it was game number 1, if I recall correctly, with the mine drop, or, you know, his drop micro as well. I do think that I think a lot of people, especially regulars from Percival's stream, they know that he has a lot of potential. Like, he's a really great player, but he's also like hyper aggressive, and because of that, like, he puts himself into these like really compromising positions at times, and I think we saw that a little bit as well in this series. And yeah, GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Nice as he does take it in the end, and I wish him the best of luck in Sweden, as Nice is participating in DreamHack Jönköping. I think we mentioned it earlier, and I have to clarify myself as well. I thought that Nice defeated Haas and he was seeded into the seeding bracket. It's like kind of a weird thing to say. Qualified into the seeding bracket. But Haas actually won the series. So Haas defeated Nice, and Haas made it into basically into the playoffs of DreamHack Jönköping. Nice to work through the open bracket instead, but yeah, he's going to be there, he's going to be competing, and we do wish him the best of luck. Really cool to see Nice taking part in that, if I'm not mistaken. Oh boy. And yeah, shout out to Universe as well. For those who don't know, Universe, he is a member of the community who has invested quite a lot into the show matches, not just show matches, but I believe there are also some other tournaments as well that he has been a part of. And yeah, he's just doing the best that he can to kind of provide support for some of these other lesser known players. You know, how often do we get to see Percival and Nice in a show match like this? I do think that they're relatively evenly skilled, and they do provide for a lot of really good series as a result. Other examples of this, we've been seeing Genio versus M Canning. Oh my god. that was in April. We had Nightmare versus Special, Future versus 3 Point, Baby Marine versus Stephen Curry. I don't know if you've kind of seen a trend here, but basically we're trying to showcase some of these up and coming lesser known Korean players like Genio, Quanta, Han Mono. I saw Lunacy in the chat. I feel like Lunacy is another one of those players, Korean Protoss, that has a lot of potential, and we always love him whenever he does show off in these tournaments. Stephen Curry as well, Chance, Spear, Mondo. Yeah, I appreciate the initiative here from Universe, how he's trying to give these other kind of mid-tier or even lower kind of Korean players a chance to show off and thrive, and yeah, kind of become a little bit more exposed to the more international audience as well. So yeah, GG, well played. I don't know when the next show match will be. They're very inconsistent, you know, like one a month sort of thing is what we're going to be looking at. I do know that this one was delayed just because, you know, we've had so much going on with WTL, with World Team League, with ESL Masters Summer. Like, there've just been so much going on these past 2 months. So it's been hard to schedule a show match without conflicting with other events. But this week was open. This week there is no WTL because of ESL Masters, because of DreamHack. So we were able to slide this in the end and able to have this show match. So yeah, shout out to Universe. Oh boy, and shout out to everyone in the chat as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I know that a lot of there's kind of a dry spell of StarCraft events right now because everyone is focusing on DreamHack and no one wants to clash with it. So we've been a little bit light on broadcast these past couple of days, no pun intended. But we will be live tomorrow. We are going to be casting the open bracket of DreamHack Young Shipping here live on the CranKy Ducklings on this channel, and we're going to bring you as much StarCraft as we can. We're only going to be casting the open bracket. I believe Biomorph and Steadfast are going to be the official B stream for DreamHack, which is unfortunate for us. Like, we were the B stream last year, but alas, both Steadfast and Biomorph have been actually a part of the mainstream even recently for ESL Masters Summer as well. So they've been, you know, kind of leveling up or stepping themselves up when it comes to the content that they're providing for ESL, and they will be the B stream as well for ESL Masters Summer. We'll just be covering the open brackets, so just one day for us, and then we're going to be watching the rest of the tournament with everyone else, and it's going to be exciting. I don't really get to... I've spoken a lot to other people about this amongst the CranKy Ducklings, but something that I actually do miss a lot is watching StarCraft. Like, typically, especially with DreamHack and ESL Masters and stuff like that, we're usually casting. And we get to experience, obviously, a lot of the games firsthand, but there's, like, all these other streams going on, and I never get to watch them. I never get to tune in. It's always sad. Like, we're like... maybe with a B stream for like a DreamHack OCE or something, OCE in rest of Asia, for example, and there's like me and Micah playing against like Go Joey or something going on, you know, on another stream, and I can't watch because I'm casting. I'm like, I can't tune in. So finally, I'm gonna be able to do so for this tournament, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. We may have like a viewing party or something amongst ourselves, like me, Asher, Yaku, whoever else is available. And also a bit of a fun fact, this was announced earlier, and I'm okay with saying this here. Kuro, the co-founder of the CranKy Ducklings, alongside myself, it was me and Kuro, we founded the Ducklings, she is going to be working at the event live. She's not going to be casting. As you can imagine, she's typically handling production, and she is going to be working at DreamHack Young Shipping at ESL Masters Summer. She actually flew into Sweden yesterday, and she's at the venue right now, if I'm not mistaken. So she's, you know, putting in a lot of work. She was actually helping set things up as we speak for tomorrow's broadcast. So yeah, you may actually catch a glimpse of the casting jersey. You may not know that it's her, but Kuro, you may see the casting jersey herself on some of those shots at the event, in the background, kind of working on things. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled and see if you can figure out who she is. See if you can figure it out. Oh god. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Oh boy. Outside of that, I believe we're done here for today. I believe we are done here for the CranKy Ducklings. Just one best of 7 show match. Nothing too crazy. We're still, you know, preserving our strength here for DreamHack in the end, and I hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves. Trigger got the worst bracket possible. Smooch. I mean, it's okay. You know, there is a knockout bracket that they can work through. It's all good. Game 2 was so unfortunate. It was wild series. I think Caster mixed up nice and Percival. Oh, did I? Oh, sorry. On the overlay, it's I may have. My apologies. But with that, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for the support. Stick around. We're going to be raiding another lovely StarCraft streamer who is live right now. Who can we raid? Who can we send everyone over to? Oh, Nice is streaming right now, and hey, he just won it makes sense for us to raid him as well, we may just do so. So again, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to tune into more of the CranKy Ducklings, ! Socials in the chat. If you want to follow us over on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, all that good stuff. Also, if you want to support us monetarily, we have a Patreon, ! Patreon in the chat if you want some beautiful replay packs. And if you also want to support the tournaments that we run and host, we do host many events throughout the week, like the Sparkling Tuna Cup, Grand Platypus Open, and the Tenacious Turtle Tussle. The tournaments that we run are mainly geared towards smaller regions like Asia, like North America, and Latin America. So if you're interested in supporting some of these smaller regions, then consider checking out the Patreon. We're very transparent with where all the money goes and how it's all split up. So if you want to support those regions and those players and the CranKy Ducklings, then Patreon is the place to do it. Our goal is to, I mean, you can see our goal down there. We're almost halfway there. We're almost halfway to our goal of 300 USD a month, and that would fully fund our events. That's currently what we spend on the prize money for these tournaments. And after that, we can look to maybe have weekly tournaments as well, or turn our tournaments into weeklies. Right now they're bi-weekly, so right now every 2 weeks we host our events, and we would love for them to be more regular. I know a lot of players want the events to be regular as well. They've been asking for it. They're like, yo Papi, no Tuna Cup this week? I'm like, nah, next week, Papi. Like, oh what's going on? So it would be great if we could provide that to our players, but you know, we'll get there. I'm sure we'll get there eventually. We're very appreciative of the support that we've already gotten on Patreon, so thank you so much to all of our patrons. They're actually all listed on the end screen and the start screen as well whenever we're there, so thank you so much. We'll look for the unmistakable clamshell. Exactly. Let's go. So yeah, with that, thank you so much for all of your support. If you want to tune into more of myself, I'm light_VIP. I do stream throughout the week. I was actually streaming some ladder earlier today, just before the broadcast, and I was also streaming some Diablo 4. Ever since Diablo 4 came out, I've been playing a little bit of that with Asher, and we've been enjoying it as kind of like our off StarCraft kind of like therapy session. Whenever we smudge too much on StarCraft, whenever we're on like these losing streaks, we're like, mate, I need a break. Let's play some Diablo. Yeah. Let's just move in Diablo instead. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. So we've been enjoying ourselves, and it's been a lot of fun. So if you're interested, follow me there on my own personal channel, Patreon. Let's go! !light in the chat for that. Otherwise, thank you so much. Even. There we go. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for DreamHack, for some Young Shipping, for some ESL Masters action. See you then. Bye.